Oh yeah, we back, baby. It's your boys, and as you can see, there is a special guest and somebody missing, which we will get to in a second. But as always, I am your man, K Marvel.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy QS.
Hello,
Really?
ladies and gentlemen. Don't cut me off. You're not that tough, please. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, your human encyclopedia, your professor of the big stretch.
And the missing corner is StrykerDragoon. Strike Dastardly. I missed that one. Who is currently co-hosting the Game Awards on Twitch. So make sure to jump to his Twitch at StrykerDragoon. Excuse me. Go on his YouTube at StrykerDragoon 131, I believe. StrykerDragoon 131 on YouTube right now to watch our brother co-host the Game Awards. And as always, the four of us are your four corners of commentary. Mute. So, right now we have a very special guest, a brother of the podcast. It's been a while since he's been on any podcast for that matter, or any screen for that matter. Like maybe like an Instagram or something like that. But in the podcasting realm, this man has not been on in a while. He's been doing this for a long time. You've seen him on the podcast before. Once again, it's been a while, brother. Rodney Harris to the show, everybody. Crowd
Thank
going nuts.
you. Thank you guys so much for having me. I really appreciate this. I'm super excited to kind of touch back onto screen and get behind a microphone. And what better way to do it here at the Four Corners of Commentary, man? Let's get it.
Appreciate that.
Always with the radio. Always with the professional.
Hey, man, you gotta keep it professional.
Nah, I hear you. That's Squish. Shout out to Top Row Squishy, the Four Corners, including Stryker. Was just on there literally minutes ago. So shout out to having us on the show once again. We love you. We love being on the show. We love everybody in the comments. Thank you all for supporting. We appreciate it like always. First and foremost, we were kind of in the zone last week. This week, I want to pay respects to some of the people who have truly impacted at least the four of us, our generation, heavily. First is Kevin Conroy, the voice of the 90s Batman cartoon and the Injustice video game and so many other animated Batman. And he guest starred as an older Batman in Flash, I believe. So in the more recent Flash television series. So definitely that is a voice that has impacted all of us. Like honestly, he was Batman. Like he no matter who it was, live action, animated, he is Batman. So we thank you for that. Extremely shortly after that, JDF, Jason David Frank, the Tommy, the Green, the White, the Green Ranger, Dragon Ranger, White Tiger Ranger, Black Dino Ranger, Black Dino Thunder Ranger, Red Turbo Ranger, Red Zeo Ranger. He was, in most people's eyes, the greatest Power Ranger of all time. Personally, if it wasn't for him and Power Rangers in general, I wouldn't have gotten into martial arts. So for me, it weighed real heavy. Yeah, so thank you for being there. Now Trini has a partner that she can defend with. You know what I mean? So thank you for everything. Gentlemen, anyone else before we get into this?
Yeah, rest in peace to JDF. Rest in peace to Kevin Conroy. That's Batman. Justice League. Batman's never going to be the same ever. Power Rangers. Got a lot of people into loving Power Rangers because of JDF. I'm not gonna lie, I really didn't care for the show at first. It wasn't until the Green Ranger popped up that's when everyone would like race home just to see, because it was the Green Ranger coming here just washing everybody up. So, and if anything, JDF was probably, yes, you got hit it on the nail. He's the greatest Power Ranger of all time. He was the most concurrent. He was always found some way to be in almost every single season or every series or adaptation of it. So I mean, it's unfortunate. Another rest in peace to, I think it's Kira. You said Kira Knightley, I believe. Is that her name? I can never remember her name. But like me. Kirstie Alley. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's rest in peace to her as well. You know, it just makes you like realize and remember that, you know, just cherish the life that you have, cherish everyone around you. You never know when it can just go just like that. Just that's all we can do. Just love on everybody tightly and hold your loved ones tightly. And just keep trying to live as best as you can every day. Well, rest in peace to those. Rest in peace to those that we grew up watching. Rest in peace to those three especially.
Yeah, for sure. Anyone else?
No, that was those are three names that kind of defined my childhood, especially JDF and Kevin. Kevin Conroy. That's like the Batman of our generation. It's like he's like to Adam West to that generation. He's basically the Adam West of our generation. We grew up on the animated series and like right off of the heels of the Tim Burton Batman. So Godspeed to all the families involved.
Yeah, it's very sad to see people that really had an impact on, like you said, our generation just pass on. And for those of you who still need to hear this message, you never know what people are going through. And if you walk around here every day with this arrogance and not being humble, just check yourself. Wake up every day, check yourself, because that person next to you might be going through something a lot worse. Even our idols, even our heroes are human. So always remember that they go through stuff just like we do. So if you're going through something and you want to speak to somebody, reach out. If you feel like somebody's going through something, you want to speak to them, reach out. Sometimes you might get somewhere, sometimes you won't, but the fact that you reached out goes a long way.
Absolutely. So let us get into these topics. Let's switch gears. Let's smile a little, baby. So let's see. So Sir Binks over here came with a idea that we thought would be interesting. If we were in the position that Tony Khan was in, excuse me. What's up, Anna? Look, pal, Anna. Who would be your right and left hands? Who would be the two people that you would trust the most? Who's gonna start? I feel like since he's the guest, he should start. I don't know about y'all.
It's your show. Let me know who you want.
Go ahead. Why not?
All right, I'll start. All right, I thought long and hard about this, and I'm going based off if I'm Tony and I have the pieces available around me right now within my circle, within my company. If they're around, if I'm paying them, or if you're already on payroll, it makes it easier for you to transition. So I said, since I got a guy that's been working in wrestling for years and years and years, not only as a talent but as an owner, Jeff Jarrett's sitting right there. Let's pull Jeff in. Hey, Jeff, how can I make this thing fly and really take over? Would you mind working close with me side by side, get this thing going with me, so we can really set this wrestling world ablaze and really set PW over the top? That's one person I'm reaching to. And the next person I said was, there's somebody out there was a hell of a wrestler for years, throughout our childhood, man's known as a man of 1,000 holds, Dean Malenko. You don't have that experience under your belt and not know nothing about the wrestling business. So, with that being said, now 2 former wrestlers on my side. One has been the previous owner and a booker. The other one can handle talent relations and booking. You know what to see. You can tell a good wrestler from a bad one. Dean, that's what I trust in you. Jeff Jarrett, you can know what it takes to run a company on a major level. You know what it takes to compete because you were in the middle of the wars. You were in the middle of those battles in those trenches. Show me the way. And if I'm Tony, I'm relinquishing a little bit of control. A little bit. It doesn't have to be a lot of control, but I'm putting some trust in my 2 right-hand and left-hand men to get the job done because I feel like the weight of the world's on my shoulders. I'm trying to do it all by myself. And I can't trust my EVPs to get anything done because they are talent. At the end of the day, it's just bad for business.
Yeah. Good. I'm happy you started it. Now you narrowed everything down a little more.
Okay. All right.
Gents, what do you think?
Well, do you want to go first? Go ahead, sir.
No. Because I think I think I'd rather you go because it's like I know like it's because I feel like what you're gonna say I probably might counteract it.
You might do.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, I would look at it from more of not just a talent perspective, but more of an experience perspective as well. Jarrett was one of the names I thought of. Jarrett has done a lot of jobs in wrestling. And when I say jobs, I don't mean losing the people. I mean he's been an owner, he's been a booker, he's been part of talent relations. He has a wealth of experience stemming not only from the territory days, but to now, to present day. So I think he's like a no-brainer. I think the other no-brainer is about to leave the company. William Regal is somebody who I would have wanted.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I'm running a company, a wrestling company, and I want a left and a right-hand man, William Regal definitely has to be one of the choices, but he's leaving. I think that, you know, a name that I'm about to say, I think everybody will agree with because he's worn a lot of different hats, whether it be an announcer, a referee, a booker, talent relations. Drum roll, please. Jim Ross is somebody that I would want, you know, giving me advice on how to run my wrestling business because he's been everywhere. He's done everything in the wrestling business. He's so experienced when it comes to cultivating talent, whether it be, you know, as an announcer or whether it even be in the back with creatively speaking. You know, he's been in talent relations also, so he knows what type of job that is. You know, that's the type of job. I think Jim Ross is the type of individual, if you're starting a wrestling company, you know, from the business side, and you need somebody to groom your staff and you need somebody to help your staff understand the parameters of their job, that's an individual that you should want on your side because he's literally done almost every type of front office job. You know, I thought of a bunch of other names. You know, I know some names that don't work for the company, guys like maybe J.J. Dillon. I know he did talent relations at one point and he's worked in the administrative side of things. Believe it or not, a guy like Kevin Sullivan, another guy who's done a lot of creative things, whether it be in Florida, WCW. I'm not going to hold the Dungeon of Doom against him, but, you know, that's a blemish on his record. You know, I will never forgive Kevin Sullivan for the Zodiac. That's just me. But, you know, there's a lot of other names that's out there that have worked in the wrestling business, you know, that could definitely help AEW from an administrative standpoint. So that's where I was looking at it.
I like it.
I would kind of disagree with Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett, while it's true, yes, Jarrett has been a booker. Yes, he is also a talent. I also have always seen Jarrett. It's always been somewhat of failure, but I can also understand. I think like everyone, it always ties in and goes with because it's like if you look at the history with Jarrett, it wasn't like a major success. It was always like, all right, at least he does something. I think the only thing you could say is consistent about Jeff Jarrett is that he's always going to get to the bag no matter what's. And I don't think if you're wanting a company like for like AEW, you want it to succeed. I don't really think like Jarrett is that person you want as like your right-hand man. I think Jarrett is just somebody you have to just keep in a different position at a distance, but still keep eyes on him because he's just someone who's just like, he's just here for the money. He's just here for the bag. He's not here for the one. He doesn't want to actually see the succeed. He's getting paid regardless. Regal would have been a good hand as well. I really, if anything, I'd say another good. If I had to say a good business mindset on, I guess, what to choose, I would say would be on how to book would be Eric Bischoff. I would have gone with Eric Bischoff because at least Eric Bischoff knows, if anything, he knows success, and he also knows the downfall of what it really means on how to run a company. Now, if you're really trying to run a company to go against competition, or as he always said, it's like his biggest saying: controversy makes gives cash.
Yep.
Why not? Why not have like that one guy's like, all right, got him over here, his book over here on one side, and I think the only other person I would put there besides with Eric Bischoff, if unfortunately he's wouldn't necessarily know if he really would want to be willing to be put in a company or like put in that executive position, I try to go for Mick Foley. And I try to go for Mick Foley because I think, like, even though obviously Mick's his wrestling days are done, he still has a sound mind. He's still a sound mind. And he still has a brilliant wrestling mind to help with booking or help molding or help create these stories. So I think that's what I would have chose with. Like, you had to choose, like, if I'm Tony and I need, like, all right, I need one side here for the business side of things. I got Eric. I need one side here to help with booking, just with the talent in general, and like really see what works and listen to this talent and speak to them. Mick.
I think there's somebody everybody's forgetting. This man has done it all. He's been everywhere. He has created everything. Just hire Vince McMahon. Just make it happen, ladies and gentlemen. Just hire Vince. Let him book. Just do it.
If he hired Vince McMahon would own that company within.
He'll just steal the company right from under.
Real quick.
Never sell another ticket again. Like, as soon as those fans hear that music hit, like, oh, here we go again.
Yep.
Nah, bro. You don't tell a soul. You shadow hire that motherfucker. You don't tell nobody. So I was thinking, because of the way Rodney kind of explained it earlier, you have some people who are there now who have multitudes of experience with a lot of different companies from all over the place. You have BJ Whitmer. BJ can do a lot. He's already coaching. And I'm not sure if he's producing or not. But he has an extremely amazing mind. Secondly would be Pat Buck. Pat Buck is somebody else who has an incredible mind for the business. Somebody I was thinking of outside of the company was of course now I'm blanking out. His nickname's the Princess with Darkness. Something he used to write for WWE.
Oh, Freddie Prinze Jr.
No. Oh no.
Thinks he knows everything.
No. Oh my God! Remember, he used to wrestle with where he would wear the black nail polish. Initials are like JJ, I think. Oh my God, that's horrible.
Joey, no, not Joey Mercury.
No.
That's what I was thinking of. I was like, no.
Side note: Jerry Lynn would also be an incredible mind. I don't know why they don't use him more.
That was on my list behind Malenko.
Yeah.
Utilize more.
It's killing me. All right, it doesn't matter. It'll come back to me. Oh, that's killing me and he's like, it's not like he's not well known. This is horrible. He's in ROH. Anyways, yeah. So, Vampiro. No, not Vampiro. Vampiro. Never wrote. What else? What else happened? Can we real quick? Can we talk about that Ricky Starks promo? Like just the promo? Y'all mind? Cause damn.
Oh,
Bring it up. Go ahead.
All right, so MJF and Ricky Starks are in contention for top promo of the year. I think they both went off. Funk Flex. I don't know who wrote that. Rob, what you think?
man, if you're not convinced that Ricky got the goods yet, I don't know what you're watching. At this point, he showed you in the ring what he can do. If you didn't believe him on the mic yet, well, you believe him now. All right, he just looked the champion of that company in the face and just dismantled him in ways in which we never see MJF really get dismantled. And MJF in his own right fires right back. It was a great back and forth. And something that somebody reached his level to the point where it's like, oh, now you want to stand toe to toe against me? That's when it started to turn physical, because I might not win this battle of words with this kid. Like, he gave everything in that promo. And if you don't, like I said, if you don't believe in him yet, then I think it's time for you to get on board. Now, I'm not saying he's going to beat MJF down the road. We don't know. But what I can tell you right now is that he has the it factor to be a champion down the road one day, if not in this company, in some other company. But he can be a major star. I'm happy he's getting the push he's getting. I'm happy he's getting the airtime he's getting. I'm happy that they're giving him the microphone a little bit more to expand him out and really show everyone his talent. It was phenomenal. Best promo he's done yet. I can't wait to see more. I see that you guys alluded to on the show previously that this is going to be like a trilogy. I don't see it being a trilogy. I do agree that it's going to be we're going to get through this. It's going to be a hard feud a little bit. It's going to be real rough. And then we're going to get past the match and we're going to move on. But somewhere down the road, Ricky will be AEW champion.
Yeah, definitely. I see that. We did actually give our points on Squishy Show, top rope Squishy. So make sure y'all go back on YouTube at Top Rope Squishy to see our thoughts on that. PWI. The PWI Tag Team 100 list
PWI
came out. Now, how y'all want to do this?
It's a scam. Literally a scam.
It's a pyramid scheme.
The thing about PWI has literally done all it can to get everybody like talking, and it worked. It worked. They got us. They got all of us.
Yep,
It's a scam.
every time.
None of it is real. It's not. It's all lies. Like it's
All right,
just
so
they just play with everybody's emotion.
all right, so let's do this. Let's go from 10 back like we normally do. 10 to 1. We'll talk about that a little bit, and then we'll jump to some of these other names because they just released the first 25. Unless somebody could find it. And
I have the whole list. In case anybody.
You got the whole list?
Mm-hmm.
Send it. But I'm just going to start running down from 10. 10, Violence is Forever. Kevin Q, I think, and Dominic Guarini, formerly of MLW. The Hex, NWA's Allison Kay and Marty Bell. Super dope.
NWA.
8 is the Young Bucks. 7 are the Good Brothers. 8 is RK Bro. 5 is Kusuka. I'm gonna say that wrong. I'm sorry. Double Crazy, which is Stardom from Stardom. 4 is Lucha Bros. 3 is the Briscoe brothers. 2 is FTR, and 1 We Are the Ones. One and done. The Usos. Bloodline, baby. So, with that being said, what do you like about the 10?
Well, I think it's glaringly obvious that they got number 1 right.
Yeah, number 1 is
I think that's why we all agree with that. Let's get that out of the way.
Yes.
Glaringly obvious that they nailed number 1. I mean, they're the only perfect tag team on this list. If you're going by the list, the criteria, they're the only ones who haven't lost. So,
yep. Not as a team.
Number 2. How are we feeling about FTR being number 2?
I'm okay with that.
No, I feel FTR should be lower.
And QS, is it? I'm not only guessing here. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Is it because of the lack of TV time throughout the year, where they started so hot and then they fall off because of the booking issue and not really getting them on TV? You got these guys running around collecting belts, and where have you been? Like, come on.
No, it's absolutely like I agree with that. Like, at the end of the day, we can talk about 5-6-star matches all we want, but the point is what matters, what also ties into a lot of these rankings is that people can forget is visibility. And if you're not, and you are on the second biggest wrestling promotion in America, and you are barely being booked. Yes, you're this tag team. You're basically probably the best tag team on the entire roster, and you have all of these belts from 3 different wrestling promotions. You have one from a promotion that's freaking dead in the water, and still is awaiting a streaming deal that we keep thinking of, that we keep hoping for. But you're not on TV defending it. You're not on TV defending it. You're not even being used in any storylines. You're just on a random, barely like, oh, here's FTR, and everybody just goes and cheers. But in truth, like, when you're really paying attention, you're not very visible. So I really said it, and I said it before. I've said this in our private conversation with my co-host. Is the only reason why they're really just number 2 is really just because of their battles with the Briscoes. Like, those battles with the Briscoe brothers is literally the only reason why they've been number 2. Otherwise, I've seen it as they'd be probably much lower. I'd put them even maybe in the top 5. They'd be probably number 5. They wouldn't be number 2. That visibility matters.
That's fair.
I feel like you're not. I don't know if they're really going to count singles competition or not, and they shouldn't. But if they are, then out of all the other tag teams below FTR, when it comes to singles competition, who right now has been, well, maybe not right now, but who has been on fire more than Dax? Nobody has that fire.
It's true.
Not when it comes to match quality, and that's singles. Not Jade, not anybody in the WWE, not any, like, match quality. When it comes to singles, Dax has been crushing it with people that people have said is the best, is like some of the best wrestlers possibly of all time. I mean, wrestlers. So if you count that, then absolutely. If not, then I completely agree with you.
Because I was gonna say, like, if we're going with Dax with singles, then that would have to be like, you got to put back the PWI singles competition. Well, unfortunately, like, we're talking about just teams, and teams in general, this like obviously, like, you know, there's always been, we all know, like, the debate that's always been going on, like, saying how, you know, FTR just had the way better match qualities, they have the way better matches, it's not even close. The Usos, congratulations,
but they don't the quality of their matches.
But congratulations to the Usos, but people feel like the Usos don't deserve it. I feel like that's a little bit of I have to disagree with that, because I feel like it's BS. From October of last year till now, even y'all know I'm not a fan of the bloodline. Y'all know I don't give two shits about the bloodline.
Doesn't rock with the bloodline at all.
I gotta give credit.
Too bad you got 3 people who do.
I gotta give credit where it's due. Like, the Usos have literally been crushing it. Like, they've been on a tear since last year. They've been on a tear. Like, hell, they've not even just holding one gold. Now they're holding both titles, and they're literally now solidified the longest reigning tag team champions of that modern area in the company. They've literally from whatever their battles with the Street Profits, their battles with the Street Profits, battle with the New Day, battle with the Brawling Brutes. Literally anybody you put them up against, they somehow to show and deliver, and they've shown themselves to just be dominant. They're part of the most dominant faction right now, the most dominant storyline. They're having a dominant reign. If WWE was able to give the Usos the opportunity to just go and venture out to other promotions, I think everybody would then still agree, like, yeah, the Usos definitely deserve to be number one, because they've been killing it. They do what they have to do. They show, they deliver. They haven't even lost. They have not lost as a team yet. They've lost to singles competitions, absolutely. They haven't lost as a team yet. They've always come out on top. So it's just like I feel like if the Usos, and I always say, like, everyone has this issue with just, it's because it's WWE. I feel like if the Usos was in another company and they were having a run like this, nobody would be debating it. Nobody would be debating none of this. They'd be like, oh yeah, they got it.
100% agree with that.
Yeah, right. When I think about FTR, and you can ask these two, I'm like the biggest FTR stan in the world. I think FTR is by far, like, mechanically, like, the best tag team as far as, like, being in the ring, because they actually use old school ways of cheating. And, they're one of the few teams that use the tag rope. I'm a sucker for that.
Preach.
With that said, they lucked out, I think, because of the criteria and the dates. They lucked out because you look at the time period in which this is judged. This is from, I believe, what is it? It's June of 2021 to July of 2022. So a full standard year, that time period, summer to summer. They won all those championships basically in the summer of 2022, like the spring and the summer of 2022. They won 3 of those belts, which is an amazing accomplishment, right? Mm-hmm. No, I'm not taking that away from them. Nor would I say that they don't deserve to be on this list, because that would just be a flat out misnomer. However, if you move this list back 6 months maybe to now, they would scratch to be in the top 10, because they have not defended. I looked this up the other day. Do you know how many times they have defended those titles since winning them? They've defended AAA championship 1 time. Mm-hmm. They've defended the ROH championship twice. And they've defended the New Japan, the IWGP tag team championship 1 time since winning. So to me, it's like, I'm glad that they're doing the traveling championship route on the indies. I think it's fantastic. They're putting a lot of teams on the map just by having matches with them, because they are a very popular team. And they're getting to live out, like, essentially their fantasy of one day becoming the Brainbusters. With that said, and I mean no disrespect to that, Brainbusters, if they must emulate one team, let them emulate the Brainbusters, right? With that said, it's like if, and I said this in our private conversations prior to this show, it's like Tyson Fury winning the undisputed championship in the heavyweight boxing division. Then his first title defense is kind of like against an amateur fighter that just turned pro. It's like, it's a nice novelty. I think it's great. But at the same token, their level of competition has not been as high as everyone else. And they have not done it in a televised platform. It's one thing to win all these championships. It's another thing to defend them. They have not done their part of defending them. Now you look at the Usos. The Usos are damn near defended their championship, whether it be against the same teams or whatever have you, against Rated Arcade Pro, the Street Profits. They've defeated the Mysterios to win the championship. The New Day, which they've had amazing matches with, and they've always come out on top, right? They've done their due diligence as champions. They've defended those belts, and it's like, and you've seen them in high profile situations, whether it be on television, pay-per-view, live events. They've defended their championship, and you always hear about it, and they always come out on top. So it's like, to me, the debate, like, I don't think if this list was 6 months later, FTR would not, they would be scratching to be in the top 10. I would say they would be in the, like, they would probably be like 8th or something like that, based on the criteria of just dates alone. Because while winning those titles is an amazing accomplishment, I can never take that away from them, right? They're champions 3 times over, in whether you want to argue ROH is a dead brand, I feel like it's a dead brand. But they have AAA and they have the IWGP Tag Team Championship. And that's a hell of an accomplishment. To be champions on 3 continents, I mean, 2 continents is an amazing accomplishment. In 3 different countries, that is fantastic. But they've done nothing with those titles, so it's like, I can only give them but so much credit.
Yeah, for sure. So going down this quarter, Rod, did you say yours? Yeah, right.
Oh yeah. I broke. I'm the one who asked about the FTR situation. Like, to wrap it all up, Stretch, you said it best. It's hard. You're giving them the credit where the credit is due, but it's hard to give you full credit.
Right.
You don't defend it.
You don't defend your belts. The Usos are there Monday, Friday, house show, pay-per-view, come out on top the whole year. What more do we need to say? If anyone has an issue in the internet wrestling community with the Usos being number 1 on this list, you're just sowing your bias for one company over the other, and you're starting this poor narrative of, it's because it's WWE. Stop.
Yeah.
Knock it off. Stop it. Knock it off.
It's like on another answer. It's like Floyd Mayweather again. Like when Floyd Mayweather had all the belts and he just never defended them, but he was he's still labeled as the greatest boxer of all time, but he never defended it. It got to a point where because he never defended those belts, he had to end up dropping them. Like, you don't see this happening with FTR. They don't defend these belts. So it's not like y'all going to tell them, hey, you got to drop the belts now. They're not doing that. Nobody's doing that. Nobody's telling FTR to drop the belts.
No. And the talent level is when they do defend it, you're going to get a 5-star banger every time. So it's like, if I'm AAA, I was like, I really want these guys to hold on to my titles, but I don't know. Like, I don't want them to hold on.
Shit.
So it puts them in a bind. I think some people might even argue for lower, but the way they started this year, they started off hot and it burned out really quickly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a few people that's on the quarter list. Excuse me, some names that I think that should be brought up. Oh snap! Number 1 is the current AEW Tag Team Champions, the Acclaimed. If I am not mistaken,
another team
they are number 20.
Criteria.
It's actually funny to see, like, a lot of people were making like issues, like saying the Acclaimed should be higher. I think 20 is. I wouldn't say they should be 20. They probably should be.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. I don't think they should be 20. Maybe I'd say at most they should be at least like 14. Only because at first the Acclaimed, everybody used to see the Acclaimed as a joke.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They were a joke. Like, everybody used to see this team. You guys used to see this team as a joke. No one was taking them seriously. And it's only now, it's just because they just kept at it with the comedy act, and it just so happened to just get over, which is good. It's good on them. Finally, they were able to get it over. Now they're reaping the benefits which is great. But I'm not gonna sit here and say like, oh, they're like one of the best tag teams. They deserve it. It was just like, it's just a matter of like they're where they're at. I think there's the other team that everyone was always clamoring over why they weren't like in the top 10 or like we're in the top 5 was Swerve in Our Glory. What number are they?
18.
18.
They're lucky to, like, again, the criteria is like, you look at where these teams, the grading criteria, the time period in which they're grading these teams. That's another team that, to me, that's like, what were they teaming? How long were they teaming when this list was made? To me, it's like there are so many other teams that they could have put above them, because it's like, you remember when they used to do the Royal Rumble and guys used to debut like on television before the Rumble, like, oh, but he missed out on his chance to get in the Rumble. His win-loss record isn't good enough. They had like 3 fucking matches, like during the like for the criteria of this. It's like, why are they that high?
Here's a real question: Are you running out of tag teams in pro wrestling? Like, is there really not that good tag teams enough in pro wrestling that could crack this list? That Swerve Out Glory have to be this high? I find it hard to believe.
Yeah, I don't think that it's enough tag teams, but I definitely don't think that it's necessarily the focal point of
where's main event.
Today's wrestling main event. Like, there's always a place for it, but it's not necessarily like the big attraction that it once was. I think that there's no shortage of teams, but there's a shortage of excitement in these teams without question.
Right.
But like, if we're looking at the teams as just as teams and matches and just straight tag team wrestling, I took issue when I saw Swerve Out Glory at 18.
That high, yeah.
And I said, come on, like, really? No, they're good. I'm not saying nothing against the gentleman at all. It's just too early to be putting them up in the top 20.
I'm up for it
because they literally just formed. They just formed. It's just
right. Like, they didn't even get their tires wet fully yet. Can we get the traction going a little bit before we start?
Champions,
but for a hot New York minute, and that was about it. Like, did they? All right, so let's break it down. Look at that run. Tell me about the run. How did the run go?
The run wasn't horrible.
Or was the run knock you? Was the run knock you out your side? Knock you off your chair? Right? Then if you got to be in the top 20, you got to knock me off my chair.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Great. Yeah, but a lot of these people didn't do that.
They teased them breaking up before they won the titles, like,
which was stupid.
Which I thought to myself, like, what is the point of? I mean,
it's the hurt business all over.
Getting to a point of this where it's like, okay, what's going to happen? But it's like, okay, we now have a team on this list that's barely wrestled enough matches during the criteria period, and they don't like each other. So it's like, how can I put faith in this list? How can I put faith in this team being this high?
Let's see.
I have a
Sasha and Naomi at 19.
That wasn't it. That's I feel, I'm not gonna lie. Now this is where I gotta keep it a buck. Now that's just political. That's just political. It's like not even political. It's just a narrative. You literally just have them at 19. They were barely a team for really that long before their walkout. They're not like literally. Okay, they won the titles at WrestleMania. They were the first black women to become women's tag team champions. Definitely historic. That's historical in itself. But after that, what else? Not too long. It was like 2 months, like maybe a month and a half after that, walk out. They walked out in May. They won the titles in April, walked out in May. Haven't been on TV since. And yet somehow they're number 19.
I can't argue with you, man.
Okay, what are we actually? What are we talking about here? Like, huh?
Yeah.
Real quick. Also, the time frame is October 1st of the previous year to September 30th.
They were teams.
Yeah, that's okay. That even reinforces his point about that reinforces his point. But
who Swerve Out Glory? You mean?
No, it reinforces QS's point that he just made. Absolutely.
No, yeah.
They barely got any traction as a team winning those titles, and it's like and granted, a lot of it is bad booking. They weren't taken too seriously. They were champions. They didn't really defend their titles because it was like a lack of focus on the division. Like the titles is way better positioned now than it has been in quite some time. Absolutely. With that said, if I could backtrack for a second with FTR, it helps them a little bit. That's the criteria because that came like right off of the heels of their championship win again.
Absolutely.
Again, if you move it down a little bit more, not necessarily the best ranking for them because they haven't done anything, but it helps them out a lot more. But it also reinforces QS's point, like, They should not be that high. They haven't they haven't done much.
So let's get this straight. They said October of 2021 to
Mhm.
Yeah.
September 2022.
Yeah. To September 30th.
That explains a lot
Yeah.
Mhm.
for a lot of these teams. It's like
A lot of teams that's not on here. You know what I thought, and I don't want to take away from your point, Rod, in any way, shape, or form. You know what I thought? There's a glaring omission on this list. Sting and Darby Allin. Why are they not on this list?
Well, we don't know where they are.
I've looked. If I must have tell me if I missed anything.
Where is it though?
I haven't seen them on their list, and they're a prominent tag team in AEW. They're a prominent tag team.
You make a very
They
good
beat
point.
the Acclaim. Like I remember, the Acclaim started the year as a #1 ranked tag team, and who did they lose to? Sting and Darby Allin.
Darby Allin. They did.
Makes a very good point there.
There's a lot. Like I have a lot of I mean, I would say personally, I have a lot of discrepancies of where some of these teams landed because there's a lot of teams on this list that I think should be a lot higher. But I think that was like the question I was going to pose to the group. Is there any team on here that you think should be a lot higher than what their ranking is?
Narrative.
And just to give you guys a chance to look at the list, I see 2 teams on here. Number 1, that should be a lot higher, and I think you guys will nod and agree. I know NXT isn't necessarily the hottest thing that it once was. Pretty Deadly and the Creed Brothers should be a lot higher than where they are.
Absolutely.
Without question, Pretty Deadly should be at least in the top 20.
Especially the Creed Brothers. Especially the Creed Brothers.
How you gonna feel when they lose, dude?
Pretty Deadly should be a lot higher, and the Creed Brothers should be a lot higher than where they are. They're at least a top 30 team, both of them to me.
You heard what I said, Stretch?
What's that?
What are you gonna do when they lose next week? Oh, when they lose Saturday?
Are you kidding me? They are not going to lose.
Pretty Deadly. You don't think they're going to lose?
Pretty Deadly is not going to lose. It's Pretty Deadly.
Okay.
Yes,
all right. I've said this before, and I've said, like, you know, with the Creed brothers, that Julius Creed is literally like is a special. He's special.
Yeah,
he's literally like he's a little diamond. He's a little diamond in the rough that they have, like, just in a tuck. I just hope that HBK doesn't fuck it up. Like the kid is a natural.
He can't miss. He can't miss.
Literally has the look. He has the look. He's a natural talent. I think it was one time where he was doing still like say like Julius Creed, like he did like a deadlift suplex just off like that. That alone had me sold on like this kid is amazing. He's amazing. I can't wait for just hopefully when he gets on the main roster and they actually like push the brothers to the moon, but hopefully like Julius Creed just gets his own like solo run. I like he's a star. He's a star, bona fide star. I agree with that.
You should be higher. See, the problem is some of these teams I like haven't watched, so it's hard for me to compare. I'm gonna say Toxic Attraction.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, is Toxic? Where is Toxic Attraction?
14.
Because
they're 14. I think
14's not bad by any means.
Not bad. But
I could have put. I could have seen them at 12.
I could. So you know what? I might get a lot of stuff for this. I can switch them with the Hex.
Okay.
Ninth. I could switch them with the Hex. I don't think that. I think the Hex are getting by off. I think the Hex is really good.
They did. Rod, chill.
I'm gonna show my bias.
Super bias.
That's a buddy of mine. Don't. Oh.
I got nothing against. Listen, I got nothing against LCK or Marty Bell. It's just that they're in a place where there's not really a women's tag division. It's starting to get off the ground, but it's like Toxic Attraction was on top since like day one. I mean,
they were on fire.
They do, and they've really improved. They really have improved.
Yeah.
I like the Hex. Don't get me wrong. I'm a Hex fan, but
it's hard. It's hard to really.
And there's really a lot that like we haven't watched. Like I kind of wish Damage Control was a little higher, but I understand why because of the time frame. Excuse me.
Same with the Kingdom. I thought the Kingdom would have been a lot higher.
Yeah, maybe 21. Nah, I don't know.
The Kingdom.
They're great though.
Could you
Matt David.
I know it's gonna sound crazy. It's a little bit of a hot take. but could you flirt with Alpha Academy?
For
And
where,
How can we?
though?
How can
But
we
where?
forget about them?
I
Like,
think
wow.
Alpha
not
Academy
for
are the
nothing.
most underrated
Not
team on
top
the
25.
But not, but like on the cusp. Like I like where they are. Like it's hard.
Yes.
Obviously, bump a couple, like maybe one or two, but like it's not for nothing on TV. Put work in, no matter what they get,
Yeah.
they do it. They do it to the
Yeah.
best of their ability.
They
It's
show up
got
and
to
they
the
show
point
out.
where your heel antics have gotten you over. The shooshing people. I got people outside of wrestling events just telling people shoosh. It's gotten over. They're picking up steam. You might not like them. That's fair, but come on. I think that you got to give them a look.
Yeah, but
Because
I think that's a good point. They have way too many losses.
That is true.
But Gable, if there's one thing you can respect for Gable, he's able to get shit over.
Yep.
He makes it work. They give him any gimmick, he makes it work.
That's right.
Like this whole shit, like we all sitting here to go shoosh. That shit, like thinking this shit wasn't like, oh god, this is corny. But he made it work. You really got the fans even shooshing all back and forth. It works.
Thank you.
Granted, yes, they have a better win record? Oh, absolutely. I think any team could have a better win record, but they do make somehow it's still entertaining.
Still relevant.
I'm always entertained with Alpha Academy.
It's still relevant. You know what? I know two drastically different gimmicks. They're a lot like the Acclaimed, in which they had a slow start to the year, but remained relevant because of the mic skills of one of the participants in the team.
Yeah.
Like, Chad Gable can talk, and that's something that I think is lost on a lot of people. They may not have the best win-loss record, but nobody remembers them for their win-loss record.
Right.
They remember them because of Chad Gable's mouth. And he's always in a prominent position because of that. And he's one of the more underrated guys, I think, one of the more underrated talkers in WWE and wrestling, let alone WWE,
Right.
There's a lot that we can go to. Yo, where's the New Day?
The New Day are sitting at
33rd.
33rd, yep.
Under the Alpha Academy, right underneath the Alpha Academy.
Yeah, like Alpha Academy, New Day.
Kind of bullshit. Anyways.
I mean, we know you're new, because we know you New Days. Those are your boys. We know that, but I mean, I think New Day they're taking a break. It's just a break, Big E being injured. I get it. They've honestly accomplished.
At least the 33rd.
Don't worry, they'll lose the number 44 soon enough.
Hey. Oh, pretty deadly. Wait, did you send it? Have a good night, Squish. Oh man, just had us in the dark. Damn, 33. Okay. Who else, man? What a big big tag team.
I mean, RK Bro, they had
it's 6.
Yeah, I mean, they did not go live. Best of wishes, prayers, and recovery to Randy Orton for the fusion surgery. But they were on a tear too. They were white hot. Like RK Bro really would have. I really thought RK Bro would have been the one to dethrone the Usos. Like
that pop they got at the pop they got at Mania was wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I really think that if that didn't happen, they would have been it would have worked, and it just sucked that Randy got injured. But they were white hot. They went flat. The Good Brothers. I mean, everybody. There's some people that, one co-host Stryker was about it. The Good Brothers do deserve.
They've worked all over the place.
Oh, that's a fact. They were the ones that was actually making Impact a little more entertaining and relevant. So you can't really be.
They were the first guys to do the promotion hopping.
like cross promotion thing. Like, yeah, it works.
Thing. They were like the first guys to do that. So it's like I can't.
And now look where he's
They got a lot
doing
of buzz because of that. So
Hell, like I wanted them. He's about to still technically a Forbidden Door right now. Judgment Day. Is Judgment Day? Did they show up on there?
No.
Where'd you get the list? Why do you have the list? I can't find it.
Oh, the full list. You want me to send it to you?
Please.
I could have sent it to you, Zach.
I did ask twice.
He did.
Oh,
No, he did ask.
Who else? What other tag teams? Oh, there it is. The House of Torture is 48. Okay. I'm mad they called them 2.0.
Send it to you. You're good.
Appreciate you. Bollywood Boys in 95, Blondes in 97.
I was just looking at the bottom of the list, and I was like, I've watched STA. I'm an SAT wrestle like for about 3 months now, and Milk Chocolate. I've seen the wrestle for years now. Having NYWC right here in my backyard is so much easier to go watch indie wrestling. So once they cracked the list, man, that's crazy to me.
I'm glad that main event cracked the list.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I don't think that's the same main event, dude.
No, I'm talking about our main event. Lion
Where are
and
they?
They're 93rd.
Okay. At least they
Oh, hell yeah.
at least
Yeah.
right. That's
Hell
good.
yeah. Man,
Yeah, they deserve it.
That's lit. Private Parties 82, Creed Brothers are 77, Best Friends are 78,
Private Party needs to be lower. I don't. I'm sorry. It's just
Renegade Sins are 73.
You
That's
talk about
dope.
fire burning out, man. What happened to Private Party?
like I don't know.
Yeah.
Bro. Like
70.
I just don't see it for them. I really don't see it for Private Party, and it sucks. So I'm just be like, nah.
They need a big change, like huge.
Pairing them up with Matt Hardy, I felt like was the biggest mistake. It was just like, no, just no.
Yeah, I mean, essentially,
Yeah,
everything else is just kind of okay,
it's just meh.
right? Like, what is there to really talk about?
It was really the top of the list that I've seen a lot of controversy about, and
Yeah,
they're losing their mind over, and why the Usos number one.
I'm telling you, bro. If the Usos were in any other promotion or the Usos were in AEW,
Nobody would be having a problem. Nobody would. It's just because they're in the WWE, and I think everyone, the recency bias, it just comes to this factor of it's like it's popular to just hate on WWE on any type of WWE programming. It's just the standard. So it's just like, no. That's a good question. Where was on?
Oh, Aussie Open's 11.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, they could have easily broke top 10, but
yeah.
We know wrestling wise they could definitely be there.
yeah, they're great.
5-team wrestle.
I don't know more. The I don't know more reps were the Kingdom.
The Kingdom, yeah.
Yeah, which I'm cool where they are, but I was like,
Parties don't need
I
to
could have
be
moved
on
them up a little higher.
Yeah,
It's like I'm conflicted about that. I was like, I'm okay either way, but I don't think you move them any lower than what they are.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's man,
It's just I don't know. I feel like tags can be difficult at times.
I love tag team wrestling. It drives me crazy
Yeah.
when stuff like this happens. Damn.
Because folks really are we're just not paying attention to it. It's not it doesn't
Which to me doesn't really, it drives me crazy how some people, I don't like tag matches. I've heard that plenty of times.
yeah.
And it's like, not to me, tag matches are so much fun. It's exciting.
They're like the
guys
backbone. They are really like the backbone of a lot of these wrestling companies.
Yeah.
Like if we go by like what we remember growing up on, like a lot of the crazy 5-star crazy matches, if you want to even with this, forget the 5-6 star, forget those ratings. If you just go by what crazy matches we always used to see growing up, a lot of them were tag. It was tag matches. There's a lot of tag matches. Like if you grew up, if you were around for the WWE, if even for the WWF era, like you would love watching like the Dudleys versus Edge and Christian versus the Hardys. You always used to love watching DX versus the Rock and Sock Connection. You used to love watching the tag team wrestling is what stood out. Nation Domination versus DX. The Brothers of Destruction versus anybody. That was just what was fun. It was fun to watch. But now it's like it just seems like if it's not like some indie, if it's not like an indie shit, it's just or if it's not like what you're seeing with I don't want to say the like how Randy Orton used to say, like that flippy super kick shit. Like if you don't see that, like everyone just doesn't care. They're not caring about any other match. They just want to see like the single matches. They just want to see the single competition instead of just that.
Yeah, and when you look at it, there's two things I always loved about pro wrestling. It's strap matches and tornado tags. If you give me a solid tornado tag match where I know it can get chaotic and get crazy, but that's the beauty of it. When you got a hot feud and it ends with a tornado tag, you know you're gonna get some fire come out of it somewhere, somehow, some way. Somebody's limping out of here. And that was the cool part about having such great tag teams. And I think it also taps into who we pairing up together. Are they good fits together? How's the chemistry work? Who's been a tag team for a very long time and have that lineage of, man, we've been tag team for years. We don't see a lot of the year-long tag teams no more. We see a lot of guys kind of thrown together, and it affects that a lot too. But the ones who have been sticking together since day one, you see why some of them are at the top of the list, or you see why they put on 5-star matches. And I want people to start appreciating tag team wrestling more. But on the flip side, wrestling has to do a better job at putting better teams together and keeping teams together. Keep them together. Stop splitting them up. It's okay. It's okay to have a tag. If they want to be a tag team, let them be a tag team. You don't got to always split every tag team up. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, and it really crashes and burns for one of the teammates.
Yeah, for sure. Tag team wrestling is special in a lot of ways. Some of the best matches in the history of wrestling have been tag matches. Yeah, man. I think. Excuse me. I apologize. I think there needs to be a. The Young Bucks said that they wanted to bring emphasis to the tag division, and they definitely have. There needs to be a tag team revolution, and there's a lot of tag teams on the indies that can spice up any division. So, yeah, man, 23 is going to be interesting for a lot of reasons. A lot of reasons for who champions are and who champions could be. Oh, that's a good point. Major team that wasn't mentioned was Jurassic Express.
There's a lot of teams just getting missed out here.
I mean, they only did 100. It's not like they did 500 and you know what I mean, or 250.
Right.
They only did 100. Like I don't think. I think there's a lot of. I think people are expecting too much. Stretch, you're muted. Stretch, you're muted, bro. Yeah,
Thank
have
you.
been.
So here's my thing. You have a team like Swerve on Our Glory, who's clearly about to break up, right? But these are former AEW tag team champions that had an arc of them breaking up and fought and clawed their way to the championship. They were more of a regular team than Swerve and Our Glory. So it's like he has a point. They should be on the list.
No, for sure. For sure. definitely.
I agree.
Before we go, I just want to mention that everyone should always acknowledge their tribal chief. And I'm just doing that to piss off QS. That's it. That's the only reason I did it. That wasn't for anybody but probably the four of us. So, yo, man. Oh, hold on. Let me wait. I'll wait. Yo, Rod. Thanks for being on, man.
Oh man, anytime, brothers, anytime. Thank you for inviting me on, man. I'm very excited to come out of the darkness and kind of see the light tonight. Appreciate it.
It's been a while.
All you saw was my teeth in darkness this whole time for the last 3 months. Just sitting there in the corner by myself soaking. So it's time for me to come into the light and show my face again. No, I'm joking, guys. I appreciate it, man.
Well, you were smiling? You were smiling and
so
soaking.
just smiling and crying at the same time. That was horrible, man. It was horrible,
Well,
but yeah, like, look, things are happening, things are moving, and for those of you who are wondering what's happening with Behind the Barricade, yeah, is it dead? It will be back. You honestly thought I was just gonna just kill what I created? You don't? No.
NWO the situation.
No, absolutely not. We will be back. Start the new year. You will get content. Don't play with me. So it might not just be me all the time, but it would be the crew, and the crew is going to step up and start doing that part. So I'm excited to say, start the new year, Behind the Barricade will be back in full effect. So Andrew's
you heard it here first.
To be live.
Yeah, breaking news, baby.
Good to hear that.
Appreciate you, and I love you guys.
Absolutely, bro.
No probs. Oh, where can they find you, man?
Oh man, you can find me on the Twitter at Rod Banks, and you can find me on Instagram at under the same name, Rod_Rod_ Banks. And you can follow us at Behind the Barricades on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram as well.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Well, with that being said, let's do what we do. Oh wait, he's first. So bad.
No. He's first.
Thank you.
Oh, shit, he was first. I'm tired.
Thank you. Shame when the engineer can't get the order right, isn't it? But you know where to find me, ladies and gentlemen. That is the Instagram. That is the Twitter. Jador Sapio, Jador Stretch. Please follow me. Enlighten yourself, if you will. Because God knows I've spent enough time trying. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you already know where to follow me as at Quiet Storm, at Forever Thiefing on Instagram and Twitter. As always, I always give these words of encouragement, always saying, I know it's December. You know, we're in it's last month. You know, it's the fourth quarter for a lot of people. If you're regarding any of your hustles, whatever job, whatever you're doing, you know, just lock in and keep that tight. You know, get your money how you need to. But I know it's the holiday season, and a lot of folks are a little gloomy, a little because of whether it's dealing with depression or whether it's dealing with any type of loneliness, grief, hurt, breakups, heartbreak. Just always know that you do know there is always somebody here to talk to and vent to. There's always still got a village. I think always remember this is one of the best times to just latch on to your village, hold firm, and realize that when you feel like you're drowning and nobody got you, just know that everybody else, your village got you. And that's it. You already know QS loves all y'all.
There you go. Stryker is currently hosting the Game Awards, co-hosting it. So go to YouTube at StrykerDragoon 131. You can also find him on Instagram, Twitter, and I don't think he's going to keep his Twitch for much longer, but at StrykerDragoon. And as always, you can find me, K Marvel, on Instagram and Twitter at Mr. Marvel87. Sorry, I need to take a breath. You can find the Four Corners of Commentary on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at The Counter of Commentary, TikTok at Counter of Commentary, and Twitter at CO Commentary. Don't forget to follow us on all of your streaming platforms, some being YouTube again, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Audible, and iHeartRadio. Once again, Rod, thank you for jumping on. We appreciate you, brother. Speaking for StrykerDragoon, y'all already know those guys. Y'all know me. We are your Four Corners of Commentary. Pow! Rod, throw it up. Good. Where is it? Thank you. And we out. Peace.